We knew we had to get a superstar. And we had superstars, but we needed somebody to kind of change the game, and Charles was that guy.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. Now, back in the 1980s and 1990s, we had some of the greatest power forwards of all time, and obviously Sir Charles Barkley was one of them. And I mention it every once in a while in my videos that I have the feeling that some of the younger generation folks kind of forget or maybe don't even know what a great basketball player Charles Barkley was. They see him as this funny person on NBA television and this goofball, but man, this guy could play. And yes, we had many videos of NBA legends talking about him, but this will be the XXXXL version with stories from other players talking about Sir Charles, and I mean, you know the drill. So let's get right to it. Now, the first clips that we're going to take a look at. Now, obviously, we see that many players have so much admiration for Sir Charles, but listen carefully what attributes they love most about him. You see that he was a very versatile player.
What was a young Charles Barkley like? And did you know that he was going to be special?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the whole package until really after I left. You know, I mean, there was definitely a transition because we played together 3 years. Mm-hmm. So the first year he came in, and we were the champions. We came in the year after we won the championship. Yeah. So with our starting lineup, we had Mark Ivoroni in there, 6'10". White guy who was from New York, and he was a good fit because you didn't have to run any plays for him, you know. Mm-hmm. and so that all changed real fast because Charles was going to be the power forward, and he almost killed Mark one day in practice. I mean, you know,
he had this thing where he would get on the baseline, and then he would just start backing up. And, you know, he was weighing about 280 or whatever. He started backing up, so whoever was behind him was getting pushed all the way to the foul line. Right. And that's how he got a lot of rebounds.
He just got beneath him under the basket, and he backed him all the way up to the foul line. He backed him all the way up to the foul line. I was like, I ain't never seen nothing like that, you know?
When you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Wow, great question. First person I would say would be Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
Chuck.
Yeah, man. You know, Chuck, man. I remember the time like watching Charles, obviously as a kid growing up and admiring him and loving his game. But then the night before the game, my agent, David Falk, and Curtis Polk, they invited me to come out to dinner with them. And they said, you know, Charles is coming. So I'm like, hold up, man. I'm not about to go out here with Charles Barkley and have dinner with him, even though, like, you know, he's one of my heroes, a guy that I respect, because I don't want to give him that advantage of, like, you know, maybe something I might make a mistake and say at dinner that make me sound like a fan. Then he may start thinking, like, you know, that I'm, you know, going to be soft, or I'm going to, you know, be fraternizing or befriend him. You know, we competitors. And, you know, I have that old school, like, type of mentality that I learned from the OGs, like, you know, MJ and the other dudes in the hood, you know, in Chicago. So he convinced me. I went to dinner with him. And well, as we were at dinner, you know, we talking and chopping it up. And, you know, we had a nice time to get to, like, you know, just hear some of his stories, hear some of his advice. And it was very, you know, helpful. So we go out and play the game. I'm thinking he's going to be a little tired because, you know, he probably stayed out a little later than I did because I went home a little early. But Charles came out, man, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to compete, and I just say what's up to him at the jump ball, and then let's go with it. Man, I tell you, he was one of the most craftiest dudes that I ever played against, man. It was like every time he got the ball, if I didn't foul him, I got up for a shot fake, and he maybe drew a foul, and if he drew a foul, it was an and one. Or if I run it down the floor, he stepped in my way, whether in my path, and he drew an offensive foul, and I was on the bench. And I was so upset and frustrated because I was thinking back to that night. I'm like, see, I should have never went to bed. I forget how much he scored that day, but I know it was definitely he got the victory and he got the best of me.
Sixers select Charles Barkley. That was a tremendous individual effort by Charles Barkley.
Barkley for three! Oh, no!
Let me kick him.
Yes!
I don't ever worry about controversy and what other people think of me.
When he first came to Philadelphia, he was a little overweight. That was during his Mound of Rebound days. But for a guy who was carrying a little extra weight, he can get off his feet really fast.
Gotta finish. Oh, what a rejection by Barkley!
How can you see a 6'4" guy do what he do? A rebound, block shot, score, and strong.
Bull taps it once and can't make it. Charles looks like he's just determined to take over this game. Oh, back.
If the ball was in the middle of five guys, everybody knew who would always come up with that ball. It was Charles Barkley. And not only grab it, but explode up.
Still fighting for it. Look at him go. Whoops. The sucker play by Barkley. Does it work? Yes. Charles Barkley. He's not human.
What captivated fans wasn't just his tremendous talent, but his colorful personality.
What's the most important thing you have to do next game?
Score more points than they do.
He is really a different guy. His elevator doesn't always go to the top. He has charisma.
What comes to mind when you kind of see?
Oh, snap. So this first joint is of Charles Barkley. This is in '96 when he actually pulled Stephen out to the side after they beat us, actually swept us. And we were just so eager to be in the playoffs and so happy to be in the playoffs. But he was like, hey, we needed this one. You guys got a million years to be able to get you one. Y'all got to go through this. This is part of it. Every great player, every great team has to go through some type of something to be able to get to something. And we were like, I don't want to hear this. But he was like grabbing us, like, come here. Like his arm is around us, you know what I'm saying? I was shocked that Chuck did that. He was doing things in the series that was just, when he would turn his face, his elbows was high, he was just putting the dominance in on some alpha, you know what I'm saying? He was putting the dominance in it. And I was shocked that he cared enough to pull us to the side and actually his advice, and I was shocked at that. But there was some brotherly love that I always remembered, and I always thanked him for that off the court. Michael Jordan, Olajuwon, and Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was unstoppable at 6'4". He was still facing up off the glass. You one dribble, in the rim, two hand. Then he'll back you down for the whole 14 seconds. Right. So they started you know what I'm saying? Because it started, people was going to sleep on it. So they wanted to quicken the game up. But Charles Barkley had a motor.
Charles Barkley, you old, man.
Charles Madman Barkley, Round Mound of Rebound, and other funky names.
Here I feel my nickname, the bread truck, the love boat, food world, the Frisco Kid, which is my second favorite, the Wide Loathing League, Town of Fun, the Good Time Blimp. So my favorite is the Round Mound of Rebound.
And he was chiseled with Domino's and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, you know something, ladies and gentlemen, I've been big from the day I was born, and I ain't got no problem with it.
This is who's going to take it over like him, and it only took about 2 or 3 years, and it was like, it was Charlestown.
Comes Charles down the lane. Goodbye.
Oh, what a rejection by Barkley!
One of the most unique players in the NBA. We talk about his size, his strength, his jumping ability.
Whoops. The sucker play by Barkley. Does it work? Yes.
People don't realize that Charles Barkley is not more than 6'6".
You'd hear like he was 6'7", and then they try to say he's only 6'4".
There's no way he should have dominated the game the way that he did at his height.
At his size and do what he did, still better.
So here's Barkley now, going to go in by himself. Gets the offensive rebound and slams it.
He never seemed to get tired.
Just hard fight.
He was just like a freight train. He'd get on these fast breaks.
Right by Ellis Hole.
For that year, he was the best player in the league. He presented a scare to us. They felt like they had a chance, and barring from John Paxson's shot, things could have been totally different.
That role of being Mr. Big Tough Guy all the time, making sure that everybody knew that, when the Suns are coming to town, it's a possibility of you getting blown out, getting your butt kicked or whatever.
You go to the Sixers and you get paired with Charles Barkley. Talk a little bit about what it meant playing with him, scoring side by side with him. I mean, you guys were kind of the 1-2 punch there on a pretty solid team for those of you that don't remember. Talk a little bit about that if you could.
Yeah, Charles was interesting. Really a dear friend of mine still today. Charles was the kind of player that he just exude confidence. He knew he was a good player, and he demonstrated that every night.
Barkley was a dominant player. Extremely dominant in the post area. He was one of the best and most talented players that's ever played the game of basketball in this history.
One of the great power forwards, particularly at his size, of all time. I mean, just dominating, physical, athletic, mentality. He was a joy to watch. I mean, we loved Barkley. I wasn't a big Sixers fan, but our man Barkley, he was. You watched him like you knew it was going to be elite, high-level, explosive basketball. And then he became this incredible personality and a television star, media darling. And to the point now where I think if you're not old enough, you don't really understand or appreciate just how good he was as a player. As entertaining, as successful, as famous as he is as a broadcaster. He was the same thing, the same level as a basketball player, one of the best ever. I don't even know if you appreciate from watching old footage. Like you had to just lace him up, go bump with him, see it for yourself. Man, this guy right here was incredible.
Charles had this, magnetism about him, and he was very confident. Who wouldn't want to play with a guy like Charles? He wasn't going to lose. I mean, he would take everybody on his back and say, I'm going to get you the promised land.
Barkley is Barkley. I don't think he's 6'3". He was just one of those rare players that size didn't matter. It was just determination.
Rebound Barkley. He battles, he shoots, he scores. Sir Charles.
I mean, he would take on Goliath. I mean, he was just had that bravado about him. So Charles, he was unbelievable what he accomplished for his size.
I remember seeing Charles Barkley. Shout out Chuck, man. I remember seeing Charles Barkley saying, I'm shocked that Udonis Haslem hasn't been drafted. And for me, I think even in that moment, that was a breath of fresh air, lifted me up a little bit, because when you have somebody like Charles Barkley, a Hall of Famer, one of the top players that ever played the game, to speak your name and even know who you are on that particular night, I think that went a long way for me. But at that time, man, I was a little down, obviously, and just going through the things that I was going through, but that lifted me up instantly. You know what I mean? So shout out Chuck for that. He probably don't remember that.
I'm a bad dog.
Here comes Sir Charles. Whammo!
Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound. What made Charles so great is because you always hear the term size doesn't matter. And for Charles Barkley, size did not matter. As a center, centers are always 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. Power forwards are always 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Not Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was a solid 6'4". And he didn't care if you were taller, if you were bigger, if you were faster, you were stronger. He was going to go through it, and nothing could stop this man. And, a guy that played with that tenacity, with that speed, with that force, plus the mentality that he had of not caring. You can tell by some of his interviews, he was going to be hard to stop.
Money doesn't matter. Endorsements don't matter. The only thing matters is winning.
Chuck was just different, man. He's small, but man, the things he could do on the floor, most guys have the physical tools and the look. that goes with that. But Chuck, he didn't have that, but there was just nobody better at creating space to get to their spots. And then he just had a complete game. He's a great passer. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good a passer he was. And you talk about that kill gene, where when it was time, that guy delivered more often than not. And I always admired Chuck too, because I just never felt like anybody had more fun playing a game than Charles
People
Barkley.
forget that he was a spectacular basketball player.
Philadelphia 76ers select.
I bet you most of the younger generation barely even know that he played basketball.
Charles Barkley of Auburn University. The round mound of rebound.
You have to remind people sometimes.
Okay, he wasn't good. He was great. Charles, holy and one.
I mean, my God, man, this kid right here, boy, he did whatever he wanted to do on the court.
You know, when you saw him in his uniform, you thought he was 6'8", 6'9". You know, just when he would step on the floor with them, then you'd see him in street clothes and go like, man, this guy's not that big.
His ability to get to the ball was amazing.
I don't think there'll never ever be another 6'4" player can do what I do.
He's Muhammad Ali of basketball. He'll walk it like he talks it.
There have been people that said, well, he's Charles Barkley-like, but there's been only just one Charles.
You know, we think Zion Williamson's special. He'll be lucky to get close to Charles Barkley when it's all said and done.
The night he was going to win the MVP, okay, we go to my bar. It was confirmed that Charles was going to win the MVP. So I got on the mic, I stand on the bar, get the mic, and I announce that Charles Barkley, before anybody even knows it, has just won the MVP of the league. And the place goes nuts, and we do a little spotlight on Charles, and drinks all around. Just one of those, you know, iconic nights that a kid from Traverse City, Michigan, now he's standing on his own bar, announcing his teammate, who's the MVP of the whole NBA. It's pretty cool when you think about it.
But from day one here, they embraced me. They treated me great. One of the reasons I still live here today is because the fans were fantastic to me.
Up to Miguel Knight. Fast break Suns to Barkley. Right over the left and score. Nice execution off the break by the Suns.
Barkley was a dominant player, extremely dominant in the post area. He was one of the best and most talented players that's ever played the game of basketball in this history.
Charles had this, you know, magnetism about him, and he was very confident. Who wouldn't want to play with a guy like Charles? He wasn't going to lose. I mean, he would take everybody on his back and say, I'm going to get you to the promised land.
Barkley is Barkley. I don't think he's 6'3". He was just one of those rare players that size didn't matter. It was just determination.
Rebound Barkley. He battles, he shoots, he scores. Sir Charles.
I mean, he would take on Goliath. I mean, he was just had that bravado about him. So Charles, he was unbelievable what he accomplished for his size.
Charles Barkley is probably one of the greatest power forwards of all time, for sure, because of his skill set. He was still able to dominate inside the paint. His rebounding is second to none. I mean, this guy was just a beast on the boards. To be only 6'7" or so and be able to snag 20 rebounds and, you know, on a nightly basis seemed like was incredible.
Charles was a different kind of competitor. He wanted to destroy you. I mean, he was a fun guy and he's super off the floor, a great guy to be around, but such a competitor on the floor, and there was nothing that he couldn't do on the basketball court.
Here's the lob for Barkley, goes up and jams! Oh, beautiful alley-oop for Sir Charles.
He could get on the roll when the team's down, and he could create a 10-0 run by himself.
And we knew we had a superstar. And not only a superstar, we had a person who could sway the officials one way or the other by his aggressiveness, by his physicality, and that was unheard of besides Karl Malone in the Western Conference.
He was so genuine, he'd give you the shirt off his back. Great teammate, cared about winning more than anybody I've ever played with as far as when the game started, hated the practice, was the worst practice player in the world.
Sometimes, you know, when you talk to a baseball pitcher who has a big night and they'll say, look, I really didn't feel it in the bullpen beforehand, didn't feel like I had my great stuff, and he throws a one-hitter. Is there any way to foretell a 56-point night?
No.
First of all, that wasn't my best game. That was the night I scored.
Oh, excuse me. Best numbers.
No, that was the best. No, I'm saying that was
best numbers.
No, I'm saying that was the most points I scored in the game. But I actually personally think Game 7 to get to the finals is the best game I ever played. I had 44 and 24. That was actually the game against the Warriors was only a first round playoff game. But to get to the finals, I remember it was Game 7s are no joke. But to get to the finals for my first time and to score 44 and 24, that's the best game I ever played. The game against C. Webb and those guys was just revenge.
That was by Byron Houston. We told Coach, don't let Byron Houston check Shaq. Like, no, he's strong. He's like, he's 6'1". Don't let him check Big Chuck.
Because that game was so funny because I remember
Byron Houston.
Yeah, no, and I remember I went to the bench and I says, "You're not gonna double me?" He says, "Nope." Because I had a triple-double. I think that was Game 3. So I had a triple-double Game 1. I had about 8 assists in Game 2. So Nelly says, "We're not gonna double you tonight." I says, "You're not?" So I scored like 17 points the first quarter. So I run over again. I said, "Let me ask you, you're not gonna double me." He says, "You can get as many as you want." I said, "Okay." I was done.
The floor. What a pass.
Oh, snap. I didn't even know Charles Barkley could pass like that.
That brilliant pass from Barkley. Look at the big guy move. Bingo and a foul.
Well, when I first saw Charles, I looked at him and he dunked him. And I looked at this guy like, how can this big guy put all his weight in the air?
He goes up, boom. I'm like, hey, he's pretty good.
In the Georgia-Auburn Auburn rivalry.
America, it's either A, get dunked on, B, get a finger or arm broken, or smile on camera. That's it.
Charles Barkley.
One of the great power forwards, particularly at his size, of all time. I mean, just dominating, physical, athletic, mentality. He was a joy to watch. I mean, we loved Barkley. I wasn't a big Sixers fan, but man, Barkley, he was, you watched him, like you knew it was going to be elite, high-level, explosive basketball. And then he became this incredible personality and a television star, media darling. And to the point now where I think if you're not old enough, you don't really understand or appreciate just how good he was as a player. As entertaining, as successful, as famous as he is as a broadcaster. He was the same thing, the same level as a basketball player, one of the best ever. I don't even know if you appreciate from watching old footage. Like you had to just lace him up, go bump with him, see it for yourself. Man, this guy right here was incredible.
For Miller underneath, off the backboard. Oh, and the Suns win it. Charles Barkley.
I had a real game plan against Chuck, trying to make him shoot that little fadeaway jump shot if I could get him to turn and just fade away and get a hand up and use my length. Because he was just a guy that had a great gift and a great motor for going to the offensive glass, and ended up being the MVP when he was down in Phoenix and get to the finals and just got better and better and better. And we had a lot of good battle through our careers.
Whose career would you want? Everything, head to toe. Scottie Pippen or Charles Barkley?
I can have Barkley's career post-basketball.
And basketball.
Yeah. Or would I rather be Scottie Pippen or Charles? I'd rather be Charles. Where do you stand on that?
Wow, that's very difficult, because if you're going to embody the totality of both careers, because now you can put in Charles's post careers. Let's not forget he's won a couple Emmys as well. So to me, those are his championships. Those are like the 6 rings Scottie has. And you're right. Charles is beloved worldwide. Not to say that Scottie is not, but Scottie is loved worldwide because he played with Michael Jordan and he has 6 championship rings. Yeah. Charles is beloved not only what he did on the court, because he was one of the handful of top power forwards and players of his time, but because of what he does on a nightly basis on TV and what he says. And on top of this, because people don't talk about this with Charles, his generosity. He is continually giving to the inner city and making sure people have better lives that people do not talk about with Sir Charles. So Having said all that, I would probably go with Sir Charles, because if you're adding everything up, I like the lifestyle of Charles. And he doesn't care.
What was it like playing against Charles Barkley?
The one moment that I can pick with Charles, we were playing Philly in the playoffs. I guess I got into a hot rhythm, and I had about 40-some points, and Charles was yelling. I can hear him yelling in the huddle, talking, who's going to guard this guy? Somebody's got to guard this guy. That's all right. I guard this guy. So we were playing, and we got into a switch, and Charles jumps out and guards me. And yeah, I never known Charles as a defensive stopper. So the first thing he does, he breaks down in this defensive position with hands up. Everything looks technically right. And I just laugh. I say, when the hell are you going to start playing defense? And who taught you how to get in a defensive stance? And I had to pass it. But that's the type of guy, he would take on a challenge, even though he was not up to the challenge. He didn't care. And that's just
to confirm a story for me.
Sure.
Charles at the All-Star game, he says,
At the All-Star game, all the guys get together in the room beforehand, just before they announced it to the crowd. So Kareem is sitting in the corner.
He says you were in the locker room reading a paper.
I'm with like Bird, McHale, and Karl Malone, and I said, I never met Kareem before. They're like, go over and say hello to him. And he's sitting over in the corner by himself with his head down.
It's his first time seeing you, and he said, Mr. Abdul-Jabbar.
Mr. Jabbar, can I talk to you? He looks up, I'm reading.
I told him I was reading.
Yes.
I turn around, these fools laughing at me. They set me, they're on the floor dying laughing.
So that's a true story?
There was times I just couldn't be bothered, man.
Right, I trust me.
Now Charles is making me pay for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay.
Charles has got new life. I think he's taken an energetic attitude in Phoenix and kind of giving them the life that they need to get them over the hump. He very well could be right in terms of getting out of the West and competing for the championship.
The Phoenix Suns are on their way to the NBA World Championship.
The 1993 NBA Western Conference champions.
And I know everybody's going to make this out to be a Michael Charles thing. Hey, Michael's going to play well, and I'm going to play well. Whether we're playing cards or we're playing golf or we're playing basketball, we both just hate to lose.
We can talk about Charles all we want to talk about. Michael Jordan, the NBA Finals. Are you kidding me?
Jordan against Barley. Turns and faces Barley. Jordan with a little fake. Another fake. Now he comes to his left. Here's the 14-footer. Good. What did I say? 14 feet away, it's like a layup.
I mean, I played against him a lot in the regular season, and he was really, really, really good. But in the playoffs, I've never seen or known a man who got that much better. That's why he's MJ.
Ahmad Rashad back at America West Arena. Now, if you've ever wondered what it would be like to be like Michael Jordan, well, imagine people trying to find you everywhere you go. This was yesterday. He was out trying to play golf. We obtained this footage from a local station here, and it was shot from a helicopter. They found him.
It was really weird because it seemed like these dudes, as hard as they competed on the court against one another, would go break bread or go get around the golf in between the games.
He got a lot of money, and I like hanging out with people who got money.
We never played golf. That was a misnomer. That really bothered me and Michael for a long time because, people saying that Michael becomes friends with guys so he can soften them up. I'm like, dude, me and Michael never played golf.
When Michael was playing golf yesterday, the reports came out that he was playing with Charles Barkley, when in fact, it was Quinn Buckner that was out there.
Isaiah, Charles Barkley was known as the round mound of rebounds.
Oh, yes.
What did you think the first time you saw him?
That he was a round mound. I mean, really, like the first time I saw him, it was actually on tape, the night that, Philly drafted him. And he was joining Moses Malone, Dr. J, Mo Cheeks, Andrew Toney. So he was joining like a squad. And when they actually showed his picture, I was like, okay, well, Philly may have made a mistake, because, he was overweight, he was just, the round mound, and then when we played against him, it was like he came down and was taking it behind his back, snatching it off the board, dribbling full court, and then that fool jumped.
You could see that Charles wanted to be great, but he didn't want to work at it.
So I said, Charles, things you got to do, it's not going to come easy because right now you're into pro ball, you got a lot of great athletes. So what you got to do, get the attitude and get mean and get aggressive and come play every night.
It was a lot of yes sir, no sir, whatever. It quickly changed from get out my way,
right?
Move, bitch, get out the way. But he does recall and recount those years that we played together, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun, and watching him develop and watching him become a dominant force was a joy.
And Barkley gladly accepted that challenge from the start.
He's the superstar of the team. He is willing to take that responsibility for wins and losses.
Steal. Here comes Barkley. And Sir Charles doing his thing.
In Barkley, the Suns found not only a gifted player, but also a new spiritual leader.
His personality is overwhelming. His confidence just exudes and really permeates through the whole team. He loves to play basketball. He has fun in his job, and I think that's contagious.
Blocked by Barkley, and Barkley is juiced. I mean, he is pumped.
Were fantastic. They all wanted autographs and wanted to take pictures.
We could be inside the hotel. Soon we heard the big roar. Ha! We said, there go Charles. So Charles would be walking, and then thousands would be following him everywhere he went. He was the Pied Piper.
I would say that Charles is.
Last evening, I felt there was a real opportunity, and we were primed this morning to make the deal. We want to deliver a championship. This is the big-time move, bringing Charles Barkley to Phoenix.
I'm not going to sit here and guarantee us a championship, but I think we got a shot at it, and that's all anybody can ask.
We were very successful, winning over 50 games every year in the playoffs. This close from getting over the hump.
Coming out here to the Valley, everybody's like, I can't believe they went and got him, I'm like, you know what, he'll be fine here. The fans will embrace him. It'll be good.
Right, what do you think about this basketball team right now?
You look at it on paper, it's really good. I think I'm really excited for the chance to play with KJ and Dan Marley.
We had to do something, and to do that, we knew we had to get a superstar. And we had superstars, but we needed somebody to kind of change the game, and Charles was that guy.
When the word came down that a trade was being made with Philadelphia, everybody was ecstatic that it was going to be Charles Barkley, but who were the Suns going to have to give up? And we all know Jeff Hornacek was a very popular player here at that time.
Out it comes to Hornacek, a 22-footer. Yes, indeed!
Any trade is controversial among fans, and this was until you just had to sit back and say, yeah, but Charles Barkley, it turned out to be fantastic.
I've never played on a team with two other All-Stars before.
The buzz started, when him walking through the airport, the deal going down.
Arizona, for whatever the persona of Arizona, Western outpost, the Wild West, whatever there was, the John Wayne spirit of Arizona, said that's our guy. And, they loved him from the second he got off the plane.
And we gave up one of our more popular players in Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, Andrew Lang in that trade. And then Charles came in and was all-pro his first year.
We gave up a lot, but we got Charles. We were never disappointed.
Puts up a long shot and scores it! He scores it! A 20-footer by Barkley is good. Unbelievable shot.
But when he jumped, it was like, wait a minute. Like you really had to squish your eyes because you hadn't seen anybody like this size move like that, but then had like crazy hops. It was a different kind of bounce. It wasn't like it was crazy. And then, you know, people were saying like he was, you know, 6'6", 6'7", and I'm like, no, this dude like 6'4". Maybe, okay, I give him like maybe a 6'5", maybe. But he ain't up there with like the 6'7", the 6'8", the 6'9" guys. He's not like that. But watching him jump was fascinating because it's like he had, I guess the best way I can describe it was like he had 2 ham hocks for thighs. You know what I mean? He like, it was just like, I had never seen anything like it. And then he was good. Like he could really play basketball. So the first time I saw him, I was like, it was just messed up, you know, because the dude was good.
And I want to tell you a story. In 1992, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Malone, all of us represented the Dream Team. We trained to get ready to represent the United States. This man was the best player out of all the players. He dominated every single night, every practice, and he was also the most exciting player.
Some of his moments to remember in this special edition of Rewind.
Dreams come true in my new shoe. That's not what I want to say. Rewind!
Well, we don't have a lot of plays. Only plays we got is get the ball to me somehow.
Hey, and that play seems to work every time.
Barkley for 3! Oh, no! Barkley fakes, throws up a three-pointer. Shazam! Oh, brother! Oliver Miller underneath, off the backboard. Oh, he said score the basket! Jake says score the basket!
But he can't seem to hide his other side, the part of him that gets in a foul mood and ruffles a few feathers.
A couple times I just threw people out the way and was fortunate they didn't call it. Pardon me, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Charles will pull no punches and give no ground. Those who challenge him usually pay the price.
Oops. Life is too short to take serious. We play basketball for a living. We can't be that serious. But I'll keep everybody loose.
Loose as a goose, and, you might say, people have found themselves the butt of his jokes.
Charles Barkley's impersonation of Rick Mahorn.
But Charles and Rick are good friends. If they weren't, would Barkley do this? The man just never stops.
I work harder than anybody there is. I mean, there may be people who work just as hard, but nobody works harder than I do.
Whether he's battling under the boards or chasing a loose ball, Charles goes all out all the time. His hustle has endeared him to fans around the league.
He's in the first row and he still gets the shot off, and he's kind enough to apologize to the woman he's sitting on right now. This is too much. He is unbelievable.
Remember what we said about Charles?
Yeah.
Part entertainer, 100% basketball player. Yeah. Right now doing a little bit of both.
You know, I always wish I had the chance to have like a 2-hour debate with some of the greatest analysts of today's NBA. And especially those guys who say that today's NBA is so much more advanced and superior to 80s and 90s. If you take a look at the stats, for example, that Sir Charles Barkley has, I can guarantee you his stats would go crazy in today's NBA. I mean, just look who he played against. He played against guys like Karl Malone, you know, like physical monsters. Bill Laimbeer, yes, also physical monster, but also skilled guys like Kevin Garnett, Chris Webber, and those guys, and he was still dominant. And just to think of that, he was able to grab like 14 rebounds a game, playing against bigs who were like 7'2" and so on, man. That guy was incredible. Also, he was a very good passer. People always overlook that attribute too. He was a very, very good passer for a power forward. Very high basketball IQ. Was he the hardest worker on the planet when it came to practice? Probably not. From the guys that I spoke to who played with and trained with Charles, they all said that it was so-so. But on court, man, that guy worked super, super hard, man. And I'm so grateful that I had the chance to see him, and I'm so happy that we had the chance to have him for so many years on NBA television. One of the most entertaining guys of all time, and man, we gonna miss this guy. We gonna miss this guy bad. So Charles, if you ever see this, man, love for you, man. Thanks for everything, all the memories, playing-wise, analyst-wise. You're the greatest, man. And you guys, take care and see you next time.